Good afternoon.
Hi, I'm Kriti Aggarwal, co-founder at Mystore. I welcome all of you to today's webinar. The topic of today's webinar is ONDC for e-commerce players. In this webinar, we will cover all the fundamentals of ONDC, the challenges that Indian e-commerce sellers are facing, and how ONDC can solve these challenges. We have the privilege to have two esteemed hosts with us today who are experts in ONDC and e-commerce. First, let me introduce to Mr. Shireesh Joshi, who is Chief Business Officer at ONDC. Shireesh is a seasonal business leader with over 3 decades of experience in helping e-commerce players in India, China, and Southeast Asia to drive growth and profitability. Secondly, we have Mr. Rajiv Aggarwal, co-founder and CEO of Store and Mystore. Rajiv is an e-commerce veteran with 23 years of experience in building next-generation e-commerce solutions for enterprise brands across the globe. Thank you, both of you, for taking out time here today, and we look forward to having an insightful discussion. So, over to you, Mr. Shireesh. Mr. Shireesh, you are on mute.
Screen is visible?
Yes.
All right. So I will do a very brief essence of ONDC, and the detailed briefing is much longer. So let me just explain the essential idea, as will be important for anybody who's looking to sell. ONDC has basically changed a fundamental concept of e-commerce, which is unbundling. Today, we experience e-commerce by one party doing everything. So all the buyer activities are in that platform, seller activities are in that platform, shipment, fulfillment, warehousing, everything, technology, all of them are being done by one single entity. Now, because that's the only way e-commerce has taken place, it has almost become accepted that e-commerce can only work if it is done in this fashion. But that's because nobody has done anything different, and ONDC is the first attempt to do it differently. Also, unbundling is not a new idea. Unbundling and interoperability we are familiar with in many parts of our life. Few everyday examples. If you look at any car, the brand of the car does not make the tires themselves, right? The tires are some other company, always. So why is that? Because the tire company can make those tires better and cheaper than a car company ever will, right? So you've unbundled a product. Unbundling of services is also very common. Many companies, for example, don't operate their own customer care. Customer care is run by some outside party, like a BPO company. So that process is outside. Many companies do their payroll outside. So many business processes are now given to another party for us to get that experience. So in all other areas, we are very familiar with unbundling. Only when it comes to e-commerce, we are not familiar. Now, for unbundling to work, we need interoperability, which is how do both parties who are interacting, how do they understand each other? And so ONDC has created the interoperability protocol. So the idea of unbundling enabled by an interoperable protocol, that's the heart of ONDC. Now, let's understand it a little bit more detail. If you look at any e-commerce platform today, it has all these activities in that platform. So one set of activities are the buyer side activities, searching for product, building a cart, payment gateways. That's the buyer side activities. That's present in the platform. Then seller activities are also present. Catalog management, order fulfillment, managing returns, cancellation, all of that is also present. And order delivery systems are also present. And they are all connected to each other through technology with protocol. And so each platform builds their own protocol. So when you go to another platform, you will see similar activities. You will see them connected with a protocol. This time the protocol is different. So because these activities work off different protocols, they are independent of each other. They don't interact with each other. So a buyer on one cannot buy from a seller on another and vice versa. Right? So these are mutually exclusive. Now, when ONDC comes in, what happens is that these activities can now be done by different parties. So buyer activities can be done by one party. Seller activities can be done by another party. Logistics can be done by yet another party. They are still connected with the protocol, but now the protocol is not proprietary or private. It is open and public. So two differences. First, before the differences, what is same? So the solution that you see at the bottom is exactly like the solution at the top. The full experience gets created. two differences. One is that the different activities are done by different company, and the protocol that joins them is not private, but it is public. Those are the two differences. Now, when this happens, you'll have many organizations, each one doing only one component, because now everybody does not have to do everything, and they are all connected to each other. So you have the unbundling and the interoperability. Everybody is interoperable with everyone because they're all using the same protocol, the same language. So because of this, any buyer on any buyer application can buy from any seller on any seller application, and the delivery can be done by any logistics provider on any logistics selling application. Right? So you can mix and match the combination. Now, this change might look like a simple rearrangement, but it's actually very, very powerful, because what it enables is that now it enables many more people to become part of e-commerce, and become part of e-commerce in an inexpensive way. The inexpensive part I'll explain a little bit later, but let me first explain who can join and how and why is it different. So for being a retail buyer application, you really need two things. You need a universe of people who are buyers, and a software that can become a buyer application. Today, there are many organizations that have a universe of people that can become buyers. So banks have a universe of customers, they can become buyers. Payment applications have a universe of buyers, they can become a buyer application. Social media companies have a universe of people, they can become a buyer application. Media companies can become a buyer application. Telecom companies can become a buyer application. So anybody who has a group of users for whatever other service that they have joined, as long as you can create a software or a digital interface called a buyer application, then that buyer universe is able to shop on the network. Because of this, many companies that are not in e-commerce can now contribute buyers to the network. And that's true today with ONDC. Similarly, other companies will contribute sellers. Right? And so our host for today, Mystore, is one such organization, which in today's conversation will explain exactly how this will take place. So Mystore is not building an entire e-commerce solution, but it will create a mechanism for all of the sellers amongst you to be able to join this network. So now imagine a buyer coming on a bank application, buying from one of you sellers on the Mystore seller application, right? That connection is now being made by ONDC. And similarly, somebody else will provide logistics. And so the complete chain gets created. So buyers and sellers are getting connected. Now, why will this be cost efficient? It will be cost efficient first because there is no customer acquisition cost. Everybody is contributing people that they already have. So buyer applications are contributing the customers they already have. There is no new customer acquisition cost. Similarly, seller apps are contributing sellers. So no one party has to do all the work of getting all the sellers. So Mystore will bring some people, other seller application will other people, and there will be a pool of sellers that will available on the network. Similarly, many companies are bringing buyer applications. So you are taking one set of costs out of the system, which is the acquisition cost from the buyer side. You're also taking away the platform cost, right? So because everybody doesn't have to do everything, those activities are not needed. So for seller to find buyers, if the seller has to build their own website, they will have to spend a lot of money to attract buyers. But now when a seller joins ONDC through a seller application, all the buyers on the network can see that seller and be able to shop it. So there's no acquisition cost. Also, the platform fees, as Rajiv and his team will explain in a minute, are very, very different in an open network than they are in a closed network. So you have access to more consumers. You are able to do it more affordably. And importantly, you only need to join the network once. You don't need to create multiple registrations or multiple applications because everybody is connected to everyone. So you just need to be connected once. It's like when you turn on your mobile phone, it connects to one tower. It does not connect with every tower in the world. Similarly, when you use your computer for internet, your computer connects to one Wi-Fi point, but you can access all the websites. So in an open network, you only need to be connected once and everybody can interact with you. You can interact with everyone. Now, this is the conceptual model, but this is not theory. This is real. So today we have multiple buyer applications. Some of these names may be familiar with you. And collectively, we have more than 50 million potential buyers. Likewise, we have many organizations bringing sellers. Mystore is one of them. And collectively, they've contributed many sellers. In fact, the 5,000 seller number is old on this slide. My apologies. That number is now more than 25,000. And multiple companies providing logistics. So in this way, you have a network where everybody contributes, buyers, sellers. And so it becomes very easy for businesses to grow. So that really is what I thought I would give as a quick introduction. I can take a couple of questions just to understand the idea of the network, and then I will hand over to the Mystore team.
Sir, this platform will be like for it is based on B2B and B2C model both, or what? Like, what is the
Everything. So not only B2C and
Hmm.
B2B, but you can look at the value chain in multiple stages, right? So if you, let's say, have a mango orchard and you are buying
Hmm.
fertilizer, right? So you as a farmer are the buyer, the fertilizer maker
Hmm.
is the seller, and the fertilizer is the item being bought. So that's one combination. Now you can sell mango to a pulp maker. So now you are a seller. You are a buyer of fertilizer. You are a seller of mango. You are selling it to somebody who makes mango
Hmm.
pulp. Now, the pulp maker is a buyer of
Hmm.
pulp, but he could be selling juice, converting this to juice to a juice maker. Juice maker will be packing and
Okay.
branding it and selling it to consumers. So each of these chains individually is getting digitized and will be part of the ONDC network.
Okay. And how B2C will work here?
So B2C, in the end, you just need a seller and a buyer, right? So in B2C, depending on the category, it could be a manufacturer, it could be a D2C operation of
Hmm.
a company. So Unilever's D2C store called UShop, that is live on the network as a seller.
Hmm.
ITC's store, itcstore.in, that is live
Hmm.
on the network. So sometimes it's the original company. In a few days, we expect
Hmm.
boAt and their earphones and headsets and their electronics to be also live. So sometimes it's the original seller. Sometimes it's a retailer. So Kirana stores are live, restaurants are live. So retail stores are live. We'll
Hmm.
have in all domains, in apparel, electronics, stationery. Not all of them are live today, but one by one they'll all come live, and we'll have all possible products available. So you don't now need to go to multiple applications to buy multiple things. Through a single application, all products, all brands will be available,
Hmm.
and you'll be able to shop.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, sir.
Uh,
Sanjay, you can mute and ask a question.
yeah, I'll go next, sir. So I just want to understand, is this a government initiative and will this be made mandatory for all the e-commerce players?
It is a government initiative, but it is not operating like a government department. ONDC is a private sector company, of course, created at the intention of the government, but we work as a private sector company because the government themselves believe that that's how we can operate with quality and speed and not be burdened by government processes. There is not going to be any mandatory requirement. So just the way UPI did not mandate that everybody should forcibly join UPI, but because it was simple and because it was successful, people saw sense in joining. So even people who were reluctant earlier eventually joined, and even people who were not in the payments business, right? So to even WhatsApp joined UPI. And so that's what open networks do, which is entities that were not in that business, they are able to join. And so we expect the same to happen with ONDC. Nitesh, your question will be handled by the Mystore team on how, as a seller, you can join. So my part is to explain what ONDC is, and the Mystore team will then explain how you can join. So if you can just hold all the joining questions till later. Okay, take a couple of questions. Tarun P. Work, you can unmute and ask your question. I'm not sure Tarun is there. Gafur, you may unmute and ask your question. Gafur Dharwal.
Yeah, yeah. Now, yes, so what is your is Tarun asking?
Yeah, okay, Tarun, right.
Specifically for physical goods, or this is equally applicable for marketplace self services as well?
Everything, physical goods, services, everything.
Okay. And how would that be? The same workflow would apply for services business as well?
Yes, same workflow. So it depends on what is the catalog unit that you're selling, right? So I could be a maths tutor teaching 12th board maths. And
Okay.
so my catalog item could be, let's say, a 20 lesson course. That could be my catalog item. Or my catalog item could be a 1 hour tutorial, right? And you can buy 10 of them or you can buy 20 of them. So depending on how I declare my catalog, even that can be sold. Logistics anyway is a service that is available currently. And so it really is now up to the service provider to develop what is their catalog of services. I could be a musician and I could be available for a party. So a 4 hour party, I have a price of 5,000 rupees. You want me to perform for a whole day, I might charge 10,000, right? So that's my catalog. And so if you want me as a musician, you can order. So it really is for the provider or the creator to develop what is their catalog and make it available. Bhavna, it seems like a giant marketplace, but it is much more than one. because any marketplace by definition is closed, and that marketplace has to take on the cost of onboarding buyers and sellers. Whereas what we are doing is, we are not doing that. We are just saying anybody who has buyers, anybody who has sellers, we'll just simply plug you in here. So it is connecting everyone. So it is much more than what a marketplace can achieve. And very quickly, the numbers on our side will actually be bigger than any marketplace. Right? So currently, the applications live have pulled in a little over 50 million buyers, but some big players are going to join soon, like the telecom companies, and we'll have several 100 million buyers on the network. That's far more than an individual marketplace can. So this may look like it is like a large marketplace, but the mechanism is very, very different. Okay, Gafur, you may now unmute and ask your question.
Yeah. See, I'm from Mumbai, Thane here, and I would like to ask, like, when are you starting in Mumbai here? And can I just visit the Mystore's website so that I can just have a look what are the products and services available there?
Yes, so Mystore has both a buyer and a seller application. So on this chart, you will see them on both sides. And you can actually go to any of the buyer application and see which are the categories they're doing, and you can start searching. So enter your PIN code, and you will be able to see what's available in your neighborhood, or you can also buy from distant stores. So you can try any one of them out.
Okay.
Okay, Sanjay, you have your hand raised. Sanjay, you can mute and ask your question. You're muted, Sanjay. Unmute yourself, please.
I think he's unmuted. Maybe some problem with the mic.
Sanjay, we can't hear you. If it's a short question, maybe you can type it.
I think there are many more questions in the chat window. Probably we can take that.
Yeah, so commission structure, I would expect the Mystore team to handle.
Yes, we will cover that.
So I will
Yes.
skip that. Yeah, okay. All right. So then, Kriti, let me hand it over to you, and you can take it from here.
Fine. Thanks a lot, Mr. Shireesh, for joining us today and helping sellers understand what exactly ONDC is and how it will change the e-commerce landscape in the future. Thank you once again, and it was pleased to have you here.
Thank you, Shireesh. And I'm really amazed like how you explain this complex concept to everyone. I still remember the first presentation that we attended as a network participant. That was a few months back. And we were really impressed with the overall concept and how it is going to revolutionize the entire e-commerce industry. And after spending months and being an active participant in the ONDC network, we cannot be more convinced that it is indeed going to revolutionize the entire e-commerce ecosystem. And it is going to break the monopolies that are currently in place. And
thank you once again.
Just let me share my screen now.
So mine was the easy part. The hard part is all of you.
Yeah, no, it is a collective, and it has been great experience like working as a team so far, Shireesh. Okay, is my screen now visible to everyone?
Yes, Rajiv, it is visible.
Okay.
Yes.
So I will skip the obvious parts, like which I think Shireesh has covered beautifully. So I will switch to like how you can join and what is Mystore. So I will give you a brief overview about Mystore. Then we will cover these questions like how you can join, what the commission structure is, and how effectively you can use ONDC to sell and to market your products. So Mystore, like Shireesh explained, ONDC is built on the participants. So there are 3 different types of participants, like seller side, buyer side, and logistic side. So Mystore is connected to ONDC from both buyer and seller side. So on the Mystore seller app, brands can register themselves as a seller, and they can upload their catalog, which will immediately be available on all the buyer apps on ONDC network. So currently there are like around 6 buyer apps. So your catalog appears on different buyer apps. And as more and more buyer apps will come into the network, your catalog, you just upload once and your catalog will appear on all the buyer apps. And Mystore provides a comprehensive admin panel as an e-commerce seller for you to manage your products, inventory, orders, shipments, and payouts. So these are some of the capabilities, core capabilities that Mystore will provide. And so we provide like complete inventory management, catalog order management, So then you can specify HSN number to get the automatic GST calculated. You have integrations with off-network and on-network logistics providers. Then you get like notifications for every order that you have. In addition, we have certain tools like for bulk import and export and return and refunds. So almost everything that you currently do as an e-commerce seller, either on marketplaces or for your own D2C brand, so you will have lot many capabilities on Mystore. And Mystore is built on Storico platform, so it's a better tested e-commerce platform. We have been into existence for more than 8 years now, and we have customers in almost 20 countries. These are some of the brands that trust us. So now the question that everyone has is like how to get started. So it is a very simple process. So it's a 3-step process. So first you register on Mystore. So you can go to seller.mystore.in and then you can register yourself. So it requires a basic KYC like your GST number or your bank account and basic brand details. Then once you have your account registered, then you can start listing your upload. And there are many ways you can upload your catalog that I will explain in the subsequent slides. And then once you have your products listed, you can expect to get orders from the ONDC network. And then using Mystore and ONDC network, you can start fulfilling those orders by using the logistics providers that are integrated. So registration is like very simple. So I already covered that. So you can go to seller.mystore.in and you can fill the form and start selling if you have not done already. Now the second part is like manage your catalog, how you can upload and publish your catalog on ONDC network. So in some marketplaces that is a challenging and humongous task. So at Mystore we have tried to make it as easy as possible. So there are 3 different ways in managing your catalog. So one is either you can directly add the products through the Mystore admin panel. So we have an admin panel that you can access on web, PWA or the mobile, and you can directly add your catalog. If you have a lot of products, then we also allow you to upload like thousands of products using a simple CSV format where you can import the basic product details and those products will get added. Then third and very easy way, like where in matter of minutes and hours, you can upload like wide catalog. So if you're already selling on these different channels and you have the product catalog already there, so then you can use our Mystore channels capabilities to directly connect your channels and import the catalog from there on Mystore. So that covers the catalog management. So now the Mystore also offers a comprehensive order management capabilities. So this is a snapshot from the order management. That is the access that you will get once you will register as a seller. So once you receive an order, you will see all the details about the order, about the customers. And you can take certain actions like you can generate invoice, you can ship the orders, you can mark the order as delivered. So there are many orders, things you can do. You can also export the orders in bulk for your processing. Now, once you receive an order, the main challenging and the I think most challenging part for any e-commerce sellers is fulfilling the orders. So that ONDC also helps in that regard. So with Mystore and ONDC, you have 2 options. So like Shireesh explained, so ONDC not only has seller applications, but they have logistics applications also who are providing their service as a seller on the network. So you can avail these on-network logistics. So there are around like 5-6 logistics partners that are already connected to ONDC network, and there are more in the pipeline. So almost pretty soon you will see all the major leading logistics providers integrated and available on ONDC network. So as a Mystore seller, you can avail these on-network logistics providers to ship your orders. And for that, once you use on-network logistics, you do not need to create like individual accounts with these logistics providers. So you're just with your Mystore seller account, you can directly get the real-time rates and start shipping. So this is a snapshot from the admin seller panel. Like once you click on ship now for a given order, then it will, based on the order details, like the customer details and seller details and the items in the order, it will fetch the real-time rates from ONDC network. So based on that, depending on your comfort, you can schedule a pickup and select one of these services that are available. And if you do not find something of your convenience, or if you are already using a logistics provider for your existing supply chain, then you can continue using that. So we provide an option to connect your own logistics account for an off-network logistics. So all you need to do is like you need to enter your credentials, and then you can start using that channel to ship your orders, like the way you are currently doing. And then we provide a panel where you can manage all the shipment, you can print shipping label, and you can track the status of the shipment. Now, another thing is like the GST compliant invoices. So we also take care of that. So you don't need to set up like complex tax rules. So with the Mystore, you can specify the HSN code for your products. And then we automatically create the GST compliant invoices. We automatically calculate the CGST, IGST, and SGST. Now, this is the question that most of people have asked about the commission structure. So the ONDC has like 3 different components. Like one is like a buyer app, one is the seller app, and another is the ONDC fees. So ONDC is like completely democratized network. So it does not dictate what different network participants should charge. So in fact, each network participant is free to determine their own fees. So that is why we have kept like this is an approximate numbers, because these numbers might vary from NP to NP, depending on what service they provide, what features they provide. And the ONDC fees ONDC is currently not charging, but pretty soon they might charge a nominal fees. They are a non-profit organization, so but they might charge a very nominal fees in the future to cover their expenses. And there is no, for Mystore, there is no setup or onboarding fee, and there is no monthly fee. So you can sign up for free and you can start using, and you pay the fees only when you receive and process the order. And this does not include the logistics fees, which will be on the actual basis. And correspondingly, like certain TDS and TCS as per the Government of India laws, they will be applicable. So now we covered like how to register, how to upload your catalog, how to manage your orders, and what will be the commission structure. So now the question that comes to a lot of sellers is like, how do you promote your products via ONDC and Mystore? So the ONDC and Mystore provides a much efficient and cost-effective way to promote your products. So there are some of these tools that you can use in Mystore to promote your products. So because Mystore is available as a buyer app also, as well as the seller app. So when you join and upload your catalog, that catalog is available on Mystore buyer app, and there is a dedicated page for each seller where your products are listed. So you can market this link, just like you do for your D2C site. So you do not need to have a separate D2C site to showcase your product or share your products. And Mystore is available in different languages. So currently we are supporting Hindi and Kannada. We will be adding more languages. So if you have a local audience or local customers, then you can make your page and catalog available in the local language. Then you can also share the QR code over your social channels. Or if you have a shop, like you can put the QR code and print it and keep it there, so that your customers can scan the QR code and directly go to your seller page and browse your catalog. Now, you can also do like a lot of the e-commerce sellers, you might be running ads on different platforms like Google or Facebook or Instagram and all. So most of these ad platforms, they use standard Google feed as an input. So Mystore also provides a dedicated, an automated Google feed for your products that is available for all the sellers. So you can use to configure and set up your ads without requiring a separate platform or separate setup. Now there are many more, those are a few of them. So now you can promote with Mystore. So Mystore will be willing to help you publish and promote your products to the wider audience. So if you have a compelling story or videos that you want to share with us, we will be happy to share it on the Mystore site as well as on our social channels. Then ONDC is also there. ONDC is more than willing and looking for interesting and compelling stories. If you have one, then please share with us and we will forward with ONDC and they will further promote it on their channels. Then currently ONDC and the government of India, to stimulate the demand, they are also offering discounts on the orders as well as discounts on the full logistics rate or delivery rates that I will cover in the subsequent slides. So you can take advantage of that to drive traffic. Then you can do your social media video marketing and use the QR code also to share with the followers. Now, this is the incentive structure that ONDC has. And I would encourage, like as an e-commerce and ONDC seller, you should take advantage of this. So first of all, like ONDC, and this incentive is applicable until 31st of March. So until 31st of March, if you are a seller, ONDC will reimburse rupees 50 for every successful order to you as a seller. In addition to that, ONDC would also reimburse delivery charges for up to 75 rupees for every successful order. So there is a certain condition like minimum order value that is applicable to be eligible for these orders. But this is a very lucrative order and that this should help like small sellers and different brands to stimulate demand. In addition to this, there is a extra bonus incentive for sellers who complete like 2,500 genuine transactions on the network. So in addition to the incentive for the sellers, we understand that ONDC also understands that buyers also need to be incentivized in order to make it more lucrative. So ONDC is also giving the 50 rupees discount that is available in the form of coupon code for the ONDC 50 coupon code that you can share on your social media channels also. So the customers can use this coupon code and shop on any of the buyer apps, including Mystore buyer app, and shop your products. Then the 75 rupees free shipping that ONDC is reimbursing the seller, the buyer can take advantage of that. So these are some of the sellers that are already on Mystore seller app and they are selling successfully. So we are looking forward to have more and more, and we have very aggressive target. And so this we look forward to everyone in this webinar to give your feedback, to join the network and be part of this e-commerce revolution that is going to break the monopolies. Okay, with that, I will end my slide, but we will, I will be taking up the questions from the audience. I hope like a lot of questions are answered, but we'll be happy to take like more questions here.
So we can start with Mr. Ashish.
Hi, Ashish, please, you can unmute. Yeah.
Ashish, you can please ask your question. We can't hear you. I think we can move to Mr. Nitesh.
Yeah. Nitesh, you can unmute. Yeah.
Yeah, hi Rajiv sir. Hi Kriti ma'am. Actually, I have a couple of questions. I was in touch with your team member, Mr. Praful, already. Okay. Actually, I am. My company is Lumbees, and we are into this buyer-seller business, and we have a couple of more than 100 plus, 500 plus sellers who are selling on to Amazon, Flipkart, and Meesho already. So what if I can convert those seller to your platform? Actually, I was in touch with members of ONDC, and recently I came to know about your store as a Mystore, and
Okay.
it is the first platform which is giving the option to for both buyer and sellers both. This is the only
Right.
one I think so in the market.
That is
So
correct.
what if I can get a chance to work means in accordance to your team from Lumbis, or I can share some data with you that these many sellers who are interested on the ONDC app. So what will be the benefit for our company, and what will be the our means some we can collaborate and we can work accordingly.
Sure, Nitish, we can surely discuss that. So there are different ways to connect to ONDC.
Yeah.
Like the easiest way is to connect through a seller LP like Mystore. And as you mentioned, like you have different sellers under you. So at Mystore, we do have like different enterprise and tools for the power sellers. So like seller manager, we have the capability of seller managers through which you can manage like multiple sellers. So if you have multiple sellers under your umbrella, so you can easily get them onboarded on Mystore and manage all their order and catalog. In fact, we have many seller managers who are assisting like different sellers under them, because these sellers do not want to take the pain. So you might be providing them as a service,
Yes.
right? And you might charge a separate fees for providing that service to them. So
Yeah,
it is a
monthly
win-win
fees.
situation for all of them,
Yeah.
right? So we have a capability of doing that. So in that case, like you upload onboard all these 500 sellers, they will have access to the dashboard. They can process their orders, and you can overall supervise them and manage it from as a seller manager. So our team will brief you about that feature as well.
Okay, sure, sir. Thank you.
Okay.
So next is Ms. Bhavna. So Bhavna, please unmute yourself and ask the question.
Yeah, good afternoon, everyone. It's a good initiative by the government to enable small businesses gain visibility and break the monopoly of these giants. So
Yes, of
my
course.
request is, when government is taking these many steps, then why GST is mandatory for going online? Retail
No,
में
so
तो GST mandatory नहीं है for small businesses if their turnover is below 20 lakhs.
no, we understand, Bhavna, and in fact, like let me clarify that ONDC does not have a mandatory requirement of GST for the sellers. So that is up to the seller NPs to have those requirements. So like every seller NP is free to determine their own policies, like just like every seller is free to determine their own policies. So Mystore as a seller NP, we have mandated certain basic requirements to avoid any non-serious sellers. So, but if you have a serious use case, then please drop us a message, and then we will use a different medium than GST for your KYC and get you on board.
Yeah, when Mystore and I think Seller App and you are the agents linked up with ONDC, then you can propose the government, no?
Yeah, so like I mentioned, Bhavna, like ONDC does not have that requirement as long as the KYC of the sellers is the responsibility of the seller NPs.
Okay.
So because we are connected to them, so they do not mandate that seller must have a GST as of now.
Okay, fine.
Okay.
Thank you.
So we will get you onboarded. If you can verify your other details, then we will just make a waiver, and you will not be required the GST.
Yeah, thank you.
So Bhavna, there's a request. You just drop us an email on Reach Us and we will get back to you.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, thank you. So next is Mr. Ashish.
Ashish.
Hi, can everyone hear me this time?
Yes, I can hear you.
Hello.
Yes, Ashish,
Right,
we can
okay.
hear
Hi,
you.
everyone.
Yes.
Yeah, just wanted to follow from the first question that was asked. It was regarding B2B versus B2C, right? So the experiences in both these sort of types of sales differ significantly, right? Like as an example, Paytm was used. Paytm is actually a B2C consumer app, right? It's a consumer app. So will developers have to develop separate B2B and B2C buyer apps, and the same for seller apps also? Because obviously, to cater to both types of transactions in one side of the app, it's actually quite challenging.
Yeah.
So how would that work? Like Paytm, yeah.
No, so we can certainly answer that question. And see, at Storepo also, we are catering to B2B, B2C, and B2B business models. So in essence, there is no B2B is similar to B2C, only with certain additions, certain features that are added. The price need to be more lucrative, and there should be some extra capabilities of buying in bulk. There should be some extra discount based on the tiers and size of the order, right? And there should be some preferential discounts for certain buyers. So ONDC has those things in pipeline, and I think Mr. Shireesh is part of a B2B discussion. So the cohort that is determining the policies for B2B. So Shireesh, you want to? I think you have your. You want to answer that?
Yes, sure. First of all, your question about whether we'll have to have a different buyer application. It really depends on the buyer application's choice, how far and wide they want to play, right? Because each category, each industry has its own rules and requirements. So let's say if I'm buying a glass, I don't need to say who I am, right? The glass is the same regardless of who's buying it. But if I'm buying a shirt, then I better say that I'm a male and I'm a size XL. Otherwise, I might start getting S size women's shirts if I didn't specify that. So, to buy, Mr. Roy George, could you mute yourself, please? Mr. Roy George, thank you. So each category, each sector requires its own flow. Now, as Rajiv explained, in B2B buying, there are a few things that come into play, which is you're buying larger quantities usually. Now, that may be different. Let's say laptop buying, as a consumer, you might buy one and a company could also buy one. So in some categories, the quantity may not differentiate. But in other areas, the quantity will differentiate. So as a consumer, if I'm buying potatoes, I might buy a kilo at a time. But if I'm a large hotel buying potatoes for my 5 restaurants, I might be buying 100 kilos at a time. 1 kilo can be transported by a guy on a bike, but 100 kilos can't be transported by a guy on a bike. So there is transportation to be done. There is quantity. There may be storage. There may be slab-based pricing. So each use case, we look at the business flow and then make sure that the protocol is able to transmit that business flow, and then that's how the use case gets enabled. But to answer the question, a single application could do it. So all the buyer application could do is allow you to select where you want to play. So even if you go to Mystore's shopping app today, it gives you different categories, and each category has its own rules and experience set. And so it really is up to the buyer app to decide how wide they want to play.
Right. Just to follow, that answers the question actually. Just to follow up, would it be possible to do cross-border trade? So if you're importing or exporting, so say we could have a buyer app only for importers, like foreign importers. So if you're exporting from here, foreign importers could look at one buyer app that connects them to all Indian exporters on the ONDC network. Is that something that's also in the pipeline?
Yeah, so that's already underway. International order test orders will probably happen sometime within the next 2 months itself. You don't have to have an exclusive buyer app just for import and export. Again, goes back to the previous answer, which is the same buyer application that is doing domestic could also enable for export and make it as a selectable kind of environment within their application. Or somebody could say, I will be an export specialist. So again, the flexibility is with the business. What needs to be solved are only 2 things. And one you could say is actually already solved, which is international payments and international logistics. So if, let's say, it's an Indian exporter selling outside, then somebody has to ensure there is an export license, that the receiving country allows import of that product, clearing the customs, etc. So the logistics internationally is a little bit more, has many more steps than a domestic logistics. But as long as there is a provider, and there are providers who are working with us to engage, then international logistics will be possible. Also, currently, the ONDC rules require that the applications be India registered. So even if it is a foreign pool of buyers, the buyer application that they will use to shop on the network to order from India to their country, that application will have to be registered. There should be a local address office of that application. And so the application may onboard foreign buyers. So even the existing application like a Paytm could onboard foreign buyers if they so choose to. But the application currently is required to be based in India. Those are the only 2 things. So as long as international logistics is facilitated, cross-border is possible. There is no restriction on the protocol.
Okay, great. Thank you, guys.
Okay, thank you, Ashish. Okay, and I think Priyanka, yes, to answer your question, Mystore is indeed part of StoryCo, and we, based on our experience, we understand the running a D2C business independently is quite a tedious task, because as an entrepreneur, you have to take care of so many different things. So with Mystore, we have solved a lot of these challenges. Like, for example, integrating the logistics provider, so you don't need logistics provider on account. So if you, with the D2C, You don't need to manage your tax rules. You can automatically calculate the GST. In terms of interface and all that, that is more standardized, that you don't need to manage your own themes and all that. So it provides a lot of advantages in that regard. Yeah, just to raise the hands up. I think Bhavana, you have a hands up. You have any more follow-up query?
Hello? No,
Yes,
already
Bhavana.
answered. Yeah, I got it
Okay,
answered.
okay. I think your
Thank
hands
you.
is raised.
Yeah.
So Origin, Ashok, you are next.
Hello?
Yeah. Yes.
Hello. Yeah, this is my
Yes. Yeah.
So my brand is Origin. We are already registered with ONDC. So
Okay.
I have like 2-3 short questions.
Mhm.
The first is like we already have like WooCommerce developed website, D2C website like origin.in, and you
Right.
mentioned that we can like connect WooCommerce with the Mystore app to directly transfer all the products to register on the
Right.
right. So I would like to know the process, that how it's been done, like how to do it.
Sure. So I mean, we have the help center also for that. We will share that link, or you can drop an email to reach us at mystore.in, and then we will call you to guide you through the process.
Sure. Okay. And another thing I would like to understand, that how a brand can promote themselves on Mystore. Like you have already mentioned, but I would like to hear again.
Right. So there are different ways you can do that. I mean, we provide a QR code, we provide a dedicated seller page, and we also are coming up with this coupon and discount code so that you can share with your customers and they can take advantage of that.
Okay.
And ONDC is also providing certain incentives like free delivery for a brief period that you can also take advantage to reduce your cost and increase your margins. And we are also working with the ONDC team to provide seller level discounts. So if you want to offer, as a seller, want to offer like a broad level discount across all your products, then you can get in touch with us and we can enable it on your products, so that you can also promote.
Okay, that would be great. Great. And another is like this ONDC buy app is how is it different with this Mystore app? Like I'm not understanding the difference between this ONDC buyer and the Mystore thing. Like I would, if you can
Yes, we can
clarify.
cover that. I think,
Yeah.
Rajiv, we can share the screen again
Yes.
so that there is more clarity on how the whole network works.
Right.
So just
So right now, this is the buyer app. So this buyer app is, so any buyer app for that matter on ONDC network, it shows the product and sellers from. So these sellers are not necessarily Mystore sellers only. These are the sellers from any seller app on the ONDC network. Okay, and we are showing all the products from all the ONDC. So right now there are mentioned 5 and 6 buyer apps. So all these buyer apps will be showing all the products. So that is the beauty of the ONDC network, that you upload your catalog once, and this is available everywhere.
So is the only website that where all the brands will be registered, right? Mystore.in. That's it.
No. So this is, let's not confuse it. So there are many things. So as a seller, this is one of the participants. So Mystore is one of the participants, and it is an open network. So as a seller, you can evaluate any seller app that you want to use to connect to ONDC network based on the features. So at Mystore, we are proud to offer a wider set of features than competitors. But you are the best to judge that.
Okay. Got it. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay. And now that I have one, I think there was a question from another from the audience, like whether it's available in Thane and all that. So right now, yes, ONDC is marketing and promoting for certain cities to have better density. But as a seller, you can be from any location. So right now, I have selected a location from Thane, and you can search for that. And then it is showing the current products from Thane. So if you look at it, for this code in Thane, it is showing me the nearby sellers. So, and there are a lot of sellers which are there near your location as well. So don't wait for ONDC to be promoting in Thane. Like as of now, you can make your products available on the ONDC network, irrespective of the location.
Hello.
Also, you can ask your existing customers to start shopping from you on the network. So as soon as you come live, you can tell your existing customers now you are online available, and they can now order from you, because the advantage is that your shop does not need to be open. On a platform like this, they can place an order, and whenever you next open up, you can deliver. So you have access to more hours of the day and a larger customer base as well.
Yeah.
So it's possible to sell only to a particular state rather than going in for a pan-India basis.
So your voice is not audible, Mr. Roy. Can you repeat your question?
E-commerce industry में चाहे
Okay, can we? Okay. Yeah, Mr. Roy, can you repeat your question?
Hello. Is it possible to concentrate only a particular state rather than going in for a pan-India sale? Suppose I want to sell my products only in Kerala. Would it be possible?
Yes, of course it is possible. So if you go there, so this is the snapshot of the Mystore backend. So for example, this is, so you can enter all the details about the products, and then ONDC is hyperlocal in nature. So that is the beauty of it. So you can ensure that your products are available in a specific cities. So you can select the cities or specific pin codes, so that you can specify certain pin codes, or you can specify it is available in all over India. So that is up to you. And your catalog will only be appearing in the pin codes that you have specified.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. And in fact, that helps a lot of challenges right now. If you see, only Zomato and Swiggy are hyperlocal in nature, but the traditional marketplaces are not hyperlocal in nature. And COVID has underlined the importance of hyperlocal like nothing else before. So a lot of entrepreneurs are looking for hyperlocal solution or selling in the closed network. So they can do that. And in fact, if you have multiple locations that where you are selling, then you can register as different sellers for each location, so that your catalog will be available only in that location. Okay, I think Ashok. Thanks, Mr.
Yeah, Raju, thank you for the opportunity. I have one doubt because I have doing hyperlocal business, as you said just now. Mine was e-commerce business. I have the vendors as well as the customers. So how can I utilize this Mystore or ONDC for my business? Because I'm same like I'm giving the platform for the both vendors and customers as well to utilize my services. So how can I utilize this Mystore?
Okay, so you are running a hyperlocal marketplace?
Yes, correct.
Okay, so like I mentioned, I think there was another question regarding that. So if you want to manage a set of sellers, you can join as seller manager, and you can get like more details about seller manager. There is a page on the Mystore site. So where as a seller manager, you can add like multiple sellers, and each seller will have their own dashboard and their product will be available. And then you as a seller manager can manage these sellers, and you can manage their products and orders. Okay, and so these different sellers can have different availabilities.
Okay, so it is apart from my infrastructure that I have been utilizing right now. So there is no requirement of website app is required from my side if I utilize these.
If you utilize this, yeah, you can solely, right? Like I said, you can run your entire D2C on Mystore also. Okay, so you can have a page. We can give you a page also for Mystore sellers. And then there can be a dedicated page where all your sellers and products are listed. So for seller manager also, we can give you one page where all your sellers and products are listed.
Okay. So what are the costing details?
Like I said, so Mystore works in a different model. Mystore works in like without any subscription monthly charges model. It works mainly on the transaction fee model, like the ONDC model, where there is a transaction fee on the buyer and the seller side.
Okay. As long as I register, so you're not going to charge me. Once you start ordering, then only you'll go.
Right.
Okay. Thank you so much.
I think next is Picosi India. So somebody from Picosi, please unmute yourself and ask your question.
Hi everyone. Uh,
Yeah,
I
hi.
actually I am selling on multiple platforms and also on my
Mm-hmm.
own website. So
Mm-hmm.
I want to know, suppose I am selling in Meesho, Amazon, and Flipkart, and also on WooCommerce. Then the
Mm-hmm.
buyer is purchasing on Meesho and through
Mm-hmm.
ONDC, and I am also registered in Mystore as well now. Then how will he be purchasing from Meesho, or I will be generating the Meesho invoice, or I will be generating the invoice from my store?
So it is from where you are selling at.
Yeah.
So Meesho, like for example, Meesho as a buyer app is also there. So if you are listed your products through My Store seller app, and the customers is buying on Meesho buyer app, right?
Yes, right.
So the order will still come to you. You will raise the invoice, irrespective of whether it is coming from, because the buyer app does not matter. Your invoice will be raised on based on the location of the customer and your location.
Okay, and suppose you are saying that buyer will be also uh, buyer can also check my products on Meesho app, Amazon products
No,
on
no, no,
Meesho
no,
app.
no. I think just want to clarify that. So there is Meesho.com, and there is a ONDC buyer app for Meesho is not on Meesho.com. There's a separate link like ondc.meesho.org.
Yeah, that's what I was asking.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So it is
Okay.
they are two different things.
Okay,
So
the
it is
platforms are
not like
different.
yeah, it is not like Meesho products will be available on ONDC, and it is
Okay,
not
okay.
like so they are two different things.
Okay, okay, thank you. And my another question is, you said that I can integrate my products from Amazon to my store.
That is correct.
Okay. Uh, suppose I am selling on Amazon, Flipkart
Mm-hmm.
also, and
Mm-hmm.
I have different SKU on Flipkart and Amazon for the same product.
Okay.
And you said that I can connect my Flipkart also, Amazon also on different seller. Can I connect?
Yeah, this channel is mainly to import your catalog onto my store.
Okay,
So if
okay,
you have your catalog available on both Flipkart and Amazon, you don't need to import from both. You can only import from Amazon.
okay. So my store will be a different platform. Amazon will be a
Right.
different, and my store will be a different platform.
My store will be a different platform. So you just import the catalog, then you can manage it from my store admin panel, and then your product will be available there. So we provide the complete capabilities and a dashboard to manage the catalog and orders.
Okay, okay. And I want to know if I can reach you out again if I have some other questions or doubts.
Yeah, yeah, sure, sure. Feel free to drop an email to reach us at mystore.in, and
Okay,
we will be happy to set up a call.
okay, okay. Thank you.
Okay. Okay. Thanks, EDF, KF.
Sorry, we are already using this one, ONDC, this one. And,
Okay.
we have restricted, we have considered some of the cities of in Karnataka, the pin codes to get orders from those pin codes areas only.
Okay.
But still, you are getting orders from Delhi and other parts of Karnataka, where from the pin codes where we are not considered in the ONDC.
No, so you are in my store. You are registered on my store.
Yeah, registered on my store, yes.
Okay, so you have set up. You are saying you have set up the location availability.
Location already you are set up, and pin codes also where from which cities we have to receive other. Those are also we configured, we entered. But other
Mm-hmm.
than those pin codes also from other pin codes also, you are even from Delhi and all you are getting orders.
And these orders are from which buyer app? So why don't you
My
drop us
store,
an
my
email
store.
on reach us? Yeah. So why don't you share the details? Let
Okay,
us see like if there is something wrong in the configuration
okay,
that we will be able to investigate and debug that.
okay, sir. I'll share the details.
You can share the
Okay.
details in the chat window and we will connect with you.
Shall
Okay.
I
Hi, Brenda.
send the mail to reach us that
Yes, yes,
mail
Yeah,
ID?
please.
reach us at mystore.in. Yes, that
Yeah,
is correct.
I'll send the mail, sir.
Okay.
Yeah, hi. This is Ashish from the Fresh Needs. We are a D2C brand.
Mm-hmm.
Wanted to understand if there's any advertising opportunities presently available in my store, like similar to what, say, let's say what Amazon or Flipkarts and all these guys provide. I'm not talking about Google Ads and Facebook. I'm talking about on platform specific, because in our experience, at the bottom of the funnel is where the buyers are more likely to kind of convert. So
Right.
just want to understand if there's anything available. Yes.
Right. Of course, like you can send us an email, and if they're compelling products and all that, like recently we were having a promotion for Holi. So we were inviting all the merchants who are selling Holi products and promoting them.
So presently, do you
Right.
have a system in build, or is it more like a manual thing on like based on as per the brand's requirement or as per your requirement, if something's open?
So right now it is, they are categorized by the seller, but for certain use cases, certain collections, and they are categorized by the categories also. So there are two categorizations.
No, that's fine. My question was not related to that. My question was largely to advertising in that sense.
Of course, we can evaluate that. In fact, for some brands, we have given and we have promoted certain products. So you can drop us an email.
It's not a dynamic system, right? It's not that I have to get in touch.
It's not a dynamic system. Yeah. So it is a case-by-case basis. So because,
Okay. All right. Thanks.
So along the way, like there might be some ad framework that will automate this stuff for the sellers. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Anybody else? Any questions?
Hi, Raju. One follow-up question.
Yes.
Ashok here.
Yeah, Ashok.
Yeah. So usually the customers right now, they are using my app to order their requirements. So if I register with your Mystore, so how they can access it as a seller manager or something?
Your sellers, how they can access it?
Yes, sellers as well as my customers.
Right. So if you are sorry, let me repeat the question. So you are saying if you come as a seller manager, then how will the buyers access the products?
Correct.
Right. So if you come as a seller manager, each individual seller is also there in the system. So that means on the buyer apps, Mystore buyer app, there will be an individual page for each of the sellers that are under you.
Okay. Usually right now we have our own app, so that is being installed into the customer, mobile phones. They can just open app and they can order the, for example, grocery. They can order it. If I come to your Mystore, so what application they have to use, the customers? Like my app, I can utilize it, or Mystore app they have to download?
They are consider them as two different channels. So you can manage, you can keep both the channels, right? Or if you can keep only one channel or both the channels, that is up to you. So consider them as two different sales channels for you. Your customer should be able to buy from any one of them.
Okay, because I want to promote my platform in first place rather than your place as Mystore. So in that case,
that is absolutely fine. You can promote your stuff, and then but consider this ONDC as an additional channel, and it is a very organic and cost-effective channel. So the cost of marketing, and let me the one slide that I wanted to cover, like what are the advantages here, which you probably missed. Like, so in this one, you give like lower commission, and ONDC you have access to the 90 crore buyers, and then this is a sales channel which has the lowest acquisition cost.
Okay.
Right, because you only pay like when you receive an order. It is not like you have to spend effort.
True.
Right. So consider that as an effective channel only.
And another thing I want to add is currently there are a lot of incentive programs run by ONDC team. So eventually your customers can, avail those incentives that are there.
Okay. Yeah. As you said, is that they can use my application, my app, as well as your app.
Absolutely.
Right.
Okay.
And it's an open network. So going forward, all the information about the seller will be visible to all the buyers. So in fact, your information, if you specified a website link, that also will make it available to the buyer. So buyer can view it and come to your channel through ONDC. Okay. No other marketplace provide that facility to be in such open network.
True, correct.
Yeah. And there's an early mover advantage, Mr. Ashok. So I think once you'll be there live on the network, in fact, if you can share your case study with us, we will promote you aggressively on our social media channels.
True. Thank you so much. Yeah, got it.
Okay. Hi, Neeta.
Yeah, hi, sir. So I had a question of like, as you said, we can connect our Amazon products on Mystore. So will the
Right.
inventory management will also be taken care, or we have to manually update the inventory on Mystore again?
No, currently the channel is limited to importing the catalog once. So the
Okay.
inventory management is like separate. So however, if you are a power seller and if you are managing multiple channels, and if you are using an inventory management tool like Vinculum or Ecommerce, so we do have a capability to integrate those so that you can use to manage inventory across different channels.
Okay. Or else we have to manually manage it.
Right now, you have to manually manage that, yes.
And like our products are like we are already selling on Amazon, and now we'll be connecting on ONDC via Mystore. So it
Right.
won't be a repetition because all Amazon products are not available on ONDC. It will be completely different from Amazon store.
Completely different, yes, completely different URL.
Okay. Okay, fine. Sir. Thank you.
Right. Okay, guys, I think if there are no other question.
So there's one very quick question. Mystore is integrated with Vinculum.
Yeah, so Vinculum has a app and we can provide the APIs. And then if you have an account with Vinculum, then that inventory and catalog can be synced there. So that is still in beta. So you drop an email to reach us at mystore.in and our team will facilitate that.
Hello, sir.
Hello. Yes.
Yeah, where we can share the details if you want you guys to promote our product on social media.
Again, you can reach out to us at Mystore, and we will our team will get back to you.
Okay, we can share you any video, any product video that.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sure. Okay, thank you.
But for that, you first need to register on Mystore. You need to be a seller on Mystore.
Yeah, we are already there, but our product are not registered.
Sorry, I didn't know that part. Yes, if you are there, definitely we look forward to you. You share your case study with us, and we will promote it aggressively.
Okay, thank you.
So I think Gaurav is asking about revisiting the incentive structure. So these are the incentive structures, and we can share maybe if you send us an email, then we can share the original incentive program for ONDC as well.
I hope, Mr. Gaurav, this answers your question. Okay. Yeah, we can drop the whole incentive program to you on this email ID.
But these won't be applicable after 31st of March, right?
Yeah, as of now, like it is there. So that is like based on the response, like ONDC might or might not extend that. So
okay, like we are the new registrars of the Mystore, then I don't think we can avail this offer very soon. So I would request you to kindly come up with the new plan after 31st of March for the registrars like us, like the new.
No, sure. We will pass on this feedback to the ONDC team. So eventually it is their call.
Please.
Yes, Mr. Shireesh has left. I think if this question would have come a little early, so I think he would have loved to answer this question. But definitely, as Rajiv said, we will discuss it with the ONDC team, and if they think that we can extend the incentive program, we will pass on that message to you.
Sure thing.
Okay, so thank you everyone. I mean, I really appreciate everyone taking time from their hectic schedule and be part of this. I hope we were able to answer all your queries. For any further queries or any discussions, so then feel free to drop us an email and start visiting like the Mystore buyer app, start buying on ONDC network and be part of this overall revolution. I would say that.
And in addition to this, so we will be putting this webinar video link on YouTube channel, Mystore YouTube channel, and we will be sharing an email with you guys. So if you want to go through this webinar again, you can easily do that by visiting our YouTube channel. Thank you, everyone.
Okay, thank you, everyone.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.